What's going on, everybody? Dadbot here, and welcome back to the Bloodborne walkthrough. In the last episode, we started off on our journey through Central Yharnam. We explained a lot of the game's core mechanics, and we made our way through a few hordes of enemies and practiced our parries and visceral attacks. In this episode, we're going to make our way through some more enemies here in Central Yharnam, and hopefully we'll make our way all the way to the Cleric Beast, and we'll get our first boss under our belt. How about that? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Central Yharnam. We've worked our way through several enemies, so I guess the next logical thing to do would be to carry on down this path. You see a little top hat there over the stairs. It's because there's another guy waiting to ambush us. Surprise. Roll through his attack, get back to him. Easy peasy. Alright, so let's make our way down this little path here. We may draw some of those enemies up here. If we do, that's good, because it kind of draws them away from the herd and allows us to thin it out a little bit, so we don't have to fight so many enemies at once once you go down. Alright, let's try our parries. Let's work on our parries. See what we can do here. Oops. There we go. That guy managed to attack us before we could execute our visceral, so it interrupted it, but that's okay. We still got him. That just makes me mad, though. It makes me want to get another visceral attack on somebody. So you go all the way to the end. There's an item on the other side of this fence. This fence does not ever open, but we are going to have to find a way around here, and we will do that in just a little bit. Alright, so this guy's our next victim with the cutlass. Sorry, but your friend over there pissed me off. So, as I said before, I can't say it enough, practice those viscerals. We're going to need them against some stronger enemies later on in the level, and you'll see why. Alright, so we got some guys walking away from us. Nothing too threatening. We can just walk up, or run up, rather, execute a run attack, and let's visceral this guy. Or, get him in the back. There we go. Now, one thing I haven't shown you, and I will show you in a little bit, is there's another way to obtain a stagger other than just parrying with your weapon. You can actually do a charge attack in the back. If you get a backstab charge attack, it will also perform the stun. You'll hear the noise, and you can perform a visceral from the back. We'll do that when we get an opportunity. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on an enemy that doesn't see you. You can be engaged with an enemy, and if you get around to their back while they're attacking you and execute the backstab, you can still get your visceral. All right, let's see. Oh, these guys saw us, so they're eager to play. Okay, so let's play. You know, notice that our saw cleaver, when we do our R1 attack, it does have kind of some side swipe range, and as long as an enemy, it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 3 or 4 that are within range of that side swipe, they're all getting hit. So you don't have to fight them one at a time, but you don't want to fight 5 or 6 of them at a time either, so let's just leave it at that. All right, let's use our pebbles. You'll notice if we're locked on that our pebbles are generally always going to hit. So you make sure when you're throwing your pebbles that you're locked on. And in general, it's just a good practice to be locked on to the enemy you're engaging anyways. There we go. Easy peasy at this point. Alright, we'll draw this guy around with the pebble. You'll notice in the top left there's an enemy with a gun. We want to be careful that he doesn't notice us so he doesn't start trying to shoot us. Let's do a jump attack. Look at that. That does some pretty good damage as well. Eventually this guy with the gun is going to notice us, and that's just inevitable, but let's get this guy. We can get this guy with the shield to come at us. He's going to move pretty slow, so we'll go on and get this guy, and he'll actually outrun the guy with the shield. And then we'll get the guy with the shield in just a second. Alright. And you'll notice he was in the middle of his attack when I attacked him. These guys don't have any armor. Their attacks are easy to interrupt. So you do a jump attack, it knocks a shield back, and you can one-shot him. So shield guys, it's good to do a jump attack on them because it'll immediately take their shield away from them, and you can kill them very easily from there. So let's run up these stairs. We got the attention of the guy with the gun. The bullets move pretty slow. It's not that hard to outrun the bullets in this game. And also you notice that when he tried to shoot us just then, the bullet actually hit the lamp there. So when you're fighting enemies with guns, it's a good idea to use the environment to your advantage. And if you're hiding behind something, they're not going to shoot you. They're going to shoot whatever it is they're hiding behind. So, you know, use the environments to your advantage when you're engaged in combat, and you'll generally do pretty well for yourself. All right, let's get this guy. Let's get him with a parry. Nope, he actually did hit us, but we still got the visceral, and we got our rally damage back. So no skin off our backs. And there's a dog up here. These dogs are ferocious. He normally roams around down there. I think somehow I may have gotten his attention, so he did come up the stairs, but that's okay. But these dogs will do a lot of damage. They bark, they bite, and when they bite quickly in succession, and they can do quite a bit of damage if you're not careful. There's one more enemy down here with a gun, so let's take care of him. And we have cleared this enemy out. So you'll see just the value of being systematic with your approach and being strategic with how you're dealing with enemies. You don't want to run into a big mob of enemies that's going to get you killed. You want to make sure that you're dealing with them in a manner that gives you the advantage. So in our case, that's luring them away with pebbles and dealing with them in small numbers as opposed to large groups. So we got something banging on this door, and can't be anything good. This door, of course, doesn't open. It's barred shut, and it doesn't even open from the other side either, but we are going to make our way around there pretty shortly here. So let's pick up the loot. Got some more blood vials. We're up to 16 blood vials, so we're doing pretty good for ourselves. 16 blood vials, 18 quicksilver bullets. We're doing pretty good for ourselves. Don't forget this item right here. It's Cold Blood Dew. Cold Blood Dew, that is essentially blood echoes in storage. It's blood echoes that you have in inventory. So if you were to use this weapon, which we're not going to, it's going to give you a set amount of blood echoes. So you'll see that 1 in parentheses. That 1 basically just means it's Tier 1 Cold Blood Dew. I believe the game goes all the way up to Tier 12 or Tier 14. Obviously, the higher the tier, the more blood echoes that item is going to give you. So it's generally not a good idea to use these right away, because what that does is it puts the blood echoes in your blood echo count up there in the top right corner of the screen. And what does that mean? That means that those blood echoes are now at risk. So as long as they're stored in this item, they're not at risk. So generally it's a good idea to keep them there until you need them. So generally what I do is I use these types of items as a buffer. If I'm just a few blood echoes away from being able to get another level when I'm leveling up, then I'll go ahead and pop a few of these and get my extra level. Leveling up's not going to be something that we can do really till after the first boss that we fight, and I'll explain why that is, but we'll get to that point pretty shortly, hopefully in this video. So let's make our way forward. I think we got some more quicksilver bullets down here because this was a gun enemy that we killed, so he's going to have quicksilver bullets. So you'll notice that the pickup is divided into 2. So we have 2 quicksilver bullets on the top and then 1 quicksilver bullet on the bottom. The 2 quicksilver bullets on the top are going into our regular quicksilver bullet inventory that we have access to right now, and you'll see that the number 20 now is blue. The reason for that is because that's the max amount of quicksilver bullets we can have on us at any one time. The same goes for blood vials. We only have 16 right now, but once we get to 20, that's the max we can have. So that 1 below it has that, you can see that green icon next to the quicksilver bullet icon, and that means that those items are automatically going to storage for us. So the beauty of that is, you know, we're gonna, as long as we have 20 blood vials or 20 quicksilver bullets and we get more, they're gonna kind of build a stockpile for us in that item box. So whenever we die and respawn, or whenever we transport to the Hunter's Dream, let's say if we have 16 blood vials and let's say we have 50 of them in storage, well, the game's automatically going to max out our blood vials back at 20 from those blood vials or quicksilver bullets that we already have in storage. So that's a very helpful mechanic the game does for us automatically, as long as we have a surplus in storage. Alright, another bloodstone shard, so we're going to be using that in a bit to upgrade our weapon. Here we've got some more blood vials, so we're at 18 now. And here we've got another friendly NPC.
I don't reckon you're from round here. Well, stuck outside on a night of the hunt. Oh, you poor, poor thing.
Alrighty then. Good on ya. So these NPCs rather, they are all holed up inside. These are people who are still human. They're not transforming into beasts, and they're pretty much just taking shelter through the night. You can see that it's pretty much twilight right now, or it's sunset, and it's the night of the hunt. So these people want to be inside where they're presumably safe from beasts. And this incense there is a repellent for beasts. Beasts don't like the incense, so they're going to stay away. That's why these people have incense lit in front of their houses while they're inside during the hunt. So you can knock your way through these wooden crates and coffins, and there's actually a ledge we can drop down. This is where we're going to go next, but we're not going to drop down quite yet because there's a couple extra things I want to show you before we proceed. So over here, we have a new enemy that we have not seen yet. These are crows. Crows do not behave in this game like you would normally think they would. They don't just go airborne and fly at you like you would expect a crow to fly. They kind of jump up and flap their wings and peck at you. So the way I deal with these is I kind of get their attention, lure their attack, and then back off immediately so you don't get hit, and then go in for the kill. See, that's what they do. So now that he's done, we can kill him. And now this guy's done, we're going to kill him. Now their attack is little, I guess, pecks that happen in succession. They do small damage, but you know, once they do several of them, it kind of builds up, and they can do, you know, more damage than you would think. So take them seriously. Back here we have an item. These are oil urns. So oil urns don't really do much by themselves. They might do a couple damage if you hit an enemy with them, but what they do is it coats them in oil, so then if you use a fire-based item or weapon, it makes that fire all the more potent. So you use these in concert with fire. Generally by themselves, they're not all that great. So around this tree, we have our first troll, ogre, whatever you want to call them. And these guys are strong. These guys, there's several of them in this level, so there's no really getting around them. You're going to have to face them, and they are powerful. And these are precisely the reason why we've been practicing our parries. I'm going to show you why. All right, so we're going to run up and get his attention, and look at this. 27 damage with my saw cleaver, and I just did a tiny sliver of his health. But watch this when we parry. Get that. Oh, I missed the timing, but he still didn't hit me. Alright, come on. There we go. Look at that. 228 damage in a one-shot with the parry. Look at that. That is why we practice these things, because these guys are a pain unless you get good at, you know, the parry mechanics and doing visceral attacks. And there are several of these in this level, and we don't want to be doing 27 damage a pop, rolling around, getting hit in the face with their brick where they do half of our health in one hit. No. We are going to destroy them with our parries and visceral attacks. So over here, we have some more Molotov cocktails, and you can see those went to storage because we are maxed out at 10. We can only carry 10 Molotov cocktails on us at a time. And here, we have the torch. So the torch is a weapon that you can equip in your left hand, and so we're going to put it on. And so if you use the left D-pad button, you can switch between our gun and our torch. So if your torch is equipped, you can't use your gun. But the beauty is if the torch is equipped, it can be used as a weapon. You hit L2, the same button you use to fire your gun, and it does fire damage. It doesn't do a whole heck of a lot of damage, but one thing the torch is useful for early on in the game is if you're in a dimly lit area, it of course lights it up and makes it way easier to see. So we're going to be using that torch in a couple instances here in this Central Yharnam area. So I think that's all we want to do around here for now. I mentioned we're going to go back up here and we're going to drop down this ledge. So let's do that. You'll notice we got some more doggos down here, and they're in cages. Most of them are. Some of them will actually break out of the cages, so let's take advantage of the ones that are in cages, and let's get our attacks in while we can, and then we can deal with the ones that are outside cages. So be careful, but be aggressive. We got those. So this one's going to maybe break out. Yep, he broke out. And we were ready for him. There's another one over here. So that is the way actually to the second boss that we're going to fight. But we're going to go back here just so we do everything kind of in the order that I would like to do things. The Cleric Beast is, I would say, a much easier boss, so that's why we're doing him first, just to kind of get you guys warmed up to how the bosses work. So over here is a dead end. We have a cold blood due, so let's get that item, and then we're going to head back down these stairs and go around this corner, kind of do a U-turn, and we're going to go here through this tunnel, making our way forward, making some really good progress. We're going to go through this door. And it takes us into a little house. Let's put our torch on just so we can see. It's a little dark in here. There's an enemy waiting for us right there. Let's take care of him. And you see this guy in the wheelchair? He looks fairly harmless, but he's going to turn around and try to hit you with a gun. So let's do a charge attack on him. This guy, 100% of the time, drops 4 Quicksilver bullets. So if you're running long Quicksilver bullets, it's actually a reliable place to farm them early on in the game. This guy gives us Pungent Blood Cocktails. Pungent Blood Cocktails are an item that we can use, and they're effective against beasts. What they do is the smell of the blood lures the beast away to wherever you throw the cocktail. It's kind of like a shark's reaction to blood. It's the same thing as a beast reaction. They're attracted to it. So let's read the description. A mature blood cocktail that releases a pungent odor when thrown that attracts bloodthirsty beasts. A precious tool in sadly short supply in Yharnam. They produce more blood than alcohol, as the former is the more intoxicating. So maybe that's a part of the problem with these Yharnamites, why they're all going crazy, is they're all drunk on blood. But who are we to judge? Anyways, over here we see another lore note. Let's read that. When the hunt began, the healing church left us, blocking the great bridge to the cathedral ward as Old Yharnam burned to the ground that moonlit night. Old Yharnam is an interesting place. It's not to be confused with Central Yharnam. It's a different area altogether, but it is an area that we're going to head before too long. And there's lots of things in store for us in Old Yharnam. Good fun. All right, let's open up this door. There's going to be an enemy right above us on the stairs. He's going to come down and attack us. Why not? Let's visceral him. Generally, visceral attacks are not easy to pull off on stairs. The game just doesn't like you doing it. So if you're going to do a visceral attack, lure the enemy down onto flat ground and do it, because sometimes it screws up on the stairs and it can be kind of frustrating. Alright, let's pick up this item. Another Bloodstone Shard. That'll be good for upgrading our weapon. And here we are at the gate we could not open before. This is a crucial shortcut in the first level. Literally, it allows us to skip that entire section that we just went around. That took us probably like 30 minutes. And so we can just go straight to this gate and cut off probably half the level, if not maybe even a little bit more. And so that's why shortcuts are so important. That's why shortcuts are such an important marker of progress in this game. So whenever you come across a shortcut in this game, you know that you've done something right. You know that you've done something well. It's one of the ways that this game rewards you. So kind of reason for celebration. We got our first, what I would call, major shortcut. Hip hip hooray. Okay, so now we're going to take this opportunity to use a slamp to go back to the Hunter's Dream. We found some upgrade materials. We've got a fair amount of blood echoes. Let's see what the Hunter's Dream has in store for us now that we're going back there for the first time since we died at the beginning of the game. So, looks familiar, still intact, still the same old Hunter's Dream that we know and love. Let's make our way up the stairs and we'll see that these doors are now open, so we can go inside of the workshop. So, here is our item box. This is where your items in storage are going to go. So this screen is showing us just our current inventory. If you hit the R2 button, though, you switch to your item save in storage. So you see now we have 5 Quicksilver bullets and 4 Molotov cocktails in storage. I mentioned that your Quicksilver bullets and blood vials are automatically going to restock to max as long as you have enough in storage every time you respawn in the Hunter's Dream, or if you die and respawn at the nearest lantern that you saved at or checked in at. However, your other items, for example your pebbles, your Molotovs, or any of the other items that we're going to pick up along the way, pungent blood cocktails, oil urns, they do not automatically restock upon respawn. So if you want to restock on those, you're going to have to come back to the Hunter's Dream and visit the item box to restock, or just find more drops along the way. This is the workbench. So this is where you go to upgrade your weapons. So upgrading weapons, fortifying weapons as the game calls it, consumes blood echoes and bloodstone shards. So at the top right you're going to see that there's a number and then there's a number in parentheses. The number in parentheses I believe is the amount that we currently have on us, whereas a number outside of the parentheses is a number required for the upgrade. So as you can see, it requires 3. We have 3. It requires 240 blood echoes, which of course we have, and then some. So our upgrade to the saw cleaver here is going to take us from 90 damage to 99 damage, which at this point in this game is a pretty significant boost. So let's go ahead and upgrade our saw cleaver to +1. So we got a nice little boost on that, and you know, a little bit more damage dealt. It's going to work out pretty well for us. You'll notice that there's also an option to repair weapons. So there is a weapon durability system in this game. So the more you use your weapons, they're going to lose durability points. Eventually, I think if it gets to a quarter of durability, you're going to start doing less damage. If it gets all the way to 0, I've never let one get all the way to 0, but I think if it does, your weapon breaks or something like that. But just don't let that happen. You don't have to worry about it. The beauty of it is if you fortify your weapon, so we just upgraded our saw cleaver, it automatically maxes out the durability. So even if we were at 100 durability, once we upgraded our saw cleaver, automatically maxes it out without having to go in and separately repair it. So keep that in mind. Don't repair weapons before you upgrade them, because upgrading them maxes out that durability anyways. This is where you can go. Later in the game, we're going to get some, they're called Carol runes, and if you look in our stats screen, you'll see those 4 squares at the top. The 4th one is glowing blue. Those are the slots where we're eventually going to be able to equip our Carol runes. We're not going to be able to do that till a little bit later in the game, but this is where you go to do that once we have the ability. And basically what those do is it allows you to equip certain buffs and certain upgrades to your stats. Pretty useful. So here we have a lore note, or a messenger on the bottom. It says, to escape this dreadful hunter's dream, halt the source of the spreading scourge of the beasts, lest the night carry on forever. So this is the first explicit reference to the scourge of the beasts. So there's got to be something that's causing these citizens of Yharnam to turn into these monstrous beasts that are hostile and attacking people, and causing people to lock up in their houses overnight because they're so terrified of what's about to happen. So eventually we're going to learn some things that expound on the scourge of the beasts and kind of give us a little bit more of a clue into what's going on around here. So this guy in the wheelchair is Gehrman. He is the first hunter, and he's the founder of the workshop. He essentially presides over the dream, and in this game he functions sort of as our mentor. He gives us clues. He can kind of reassure us in what we're doing and our objectives, and he kind of functions as our mentor in a way. So let's talk to him.
Aha! You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am Gehrman, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
Go kill a few beasts. It's just what hunters do.
This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you.
Alright, that's a little bit creepy, I will admit.
This was...
Alright. So we are going to hunt us. We're gonna hunt us some beasts. We're gonna take Gehrman up on his advice there. Don't have to tell me twice. So as I said, we are in the hunter's dream currently. One of the themes of this game is kind of the blurred line that exists between reality and a dream and a nightmare. And this place seems real. It feels real. We're talking to people. We're walking around. We're completely lucid. So it's just one of the things to ponder as we go on through this game. What is real? What's a dream? What's a nightmare? Are they linked somehow? Who knows? All right. So let's pay the shop a visit. I don't think there's anything new for us. We can purchase blood vials and quicksilver bullets. I prefer not to purchase these. They're very easy to farm. I just don't like wasting my blood echoes on them. So we're going to skip out on that and hold on to our blood echoes. Let's go back to Central Yharnam. Make use of that shortcut we just opened up. Now, one thing I will explain in this game is that whenever you respawn, whether that be via a death or via going to the hunter's dream and returning to the world, most enemies are going to respawn. There are some exceptions. One exception being that beast we killed at the very beginning in Yusefka's clinic. The enemies are going to respawn for the most part. So, we're going to have to work our way through some of them. But now that we have this shortcut, we don't have to worry about as many as we would if we were going to go that way. However, before we go through the shortcut, there's something I want to show you. Something that is very easy to miss. Let's head down this ladder. Go on a little slide. Make sure we kill this guy before he gets us. Let's go back to Yusefka's clinic, where we started the game. And as I mentioned, the beast is not going to respond. Beasts will respond, but this particular one does not. Fortunately. Looks like his lunch is also gone too. Alright, so we have a lantern in here as well. Let's go back to where we started, where we woke up and started this journey from. So notice these are the double doors we first came through. We went down the stairs and went to that place where we fought the beast. Let's see if we can get back there.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yusefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do.
Yusefka's blood vial.
Go. And good hunting.
Alright. So this is something that's very easy to miss, unless you just know to come back here. So that is Yusefka, and as you may have noticed, we are currently in Yusefka's clinic. Now that we've been out on the hunt, we've been exposed to Beast. She doesn't want us back in there. She doesn't want us potentially spreading this mysterious scourge that we've heard about. Are we susceptible to it? Who knows? But, so that's Yusefka. This is her clinic. She's generally pretty nice, and if you notice, she gave us this Yusefka's blood vial up here at the top. Blood vial acquired from Yusefka's clinic. This refined blood, highly invigorating, restores a larger amount of HP. The product of a slow and careful refinement process, this rare blood vial appears to be a clinic original. So, this functions much like a regular blood vial does. However, if you equip it, you'll notice it doesn't impact our blood vial tally at the top left. We still have 18. So this blood vial functions much like any other blood vial, except it does increase a greater percentage of your health, but it is used as an item, not as a blood vial. So if you want to use it, and let's say you run out of blood vials and you're in a pinch and you have that Yusefka's blood vial left, that might be the difference maker that saves your life. So you might want to equip it. I generally don't equip it unless I know that I'm just in a pinch. If you use it, I believe you can go back to her and she will give you another blood vial. I'm not positive, but I believe that's how it works. So let's go back up our ladder. And take that handy-dandy shortcut. Now you remember, there is an enemy right behind this shortcut with an axe. One thing I'm going to demonstrate to you is the backstab variety of the stun and visceral attack. So we've been practicing our parries, but we have yet to do a backstab. So let's lock on. Let's sneak up. And let's do our backstab. Charge attack. It has to be an R2 charge attack. Boom. There we go. Just like magic. Pretty cool. And as I mentioned, of course we have this enemy right here. This guy, 4 Quicksilver bullets every single time. Just good to go in there and stock up for a rainy day. Why not? So if we go around this corner, this is new territory for us. And lo and behold, we have 2 of these troll guys patrolling. Let's use our skills and knock them down. Come on. Come on. Whoops. Too late there on the parry. Up. Come on. I'm making a fool of myself here. There we go. The money shot. Okay. Got one of them. Let's get the other. Alright. There we go. He's got a little bit of health left, but no matter. Just run up and attack him once and he's dead. So these guys... Well, this one dropped shining coins. They both drop shining coins. Okay. Sometimes, well, actually most of the time, they're going to drop blood vials, and multiple blood vials at that. So this is a good source for farming blood vials. And you'll notice we are in very close proximity to our shortcut. So again, if you would like to practice your backstabs and parry attacks and practice your gun parries here on these guys, it's a good place to do it. If you die, you're right close to your shortcut and your lamp that you're going to work back to. So it's really not a whole lot of risk if you want to come out here and practice your skills and just hone in on them a little bit and make sure that you're getting good. If you come down this way, we're going to come across an elevator that we cannot use. You know, if you notice, we pull this lever, it says device is not currently operable. So this elevator we're going to actually have to access from below. Once we access it from below, it's going to take us up here, and then from then on we can use this lever whenever we want. The shortcut is activated. This is actually going to be a shortcut to the second boss, and so you'll see us coming back here a little bit later. Alright, that being said, enough talk about the second boss. Let's make our way to the first boss of the game, the Cleric Beast. This boss is technically optional. You do not have to beat him to beat the game. So the first boss that we're going to fight, the Cleric Beast, and the third boss that we fight, the Blood-Starved Beast, are both technically optional. But the way the game works is you have to kill at least one of the two, because to access the way forward to the rest of the game, there's the third boss unlocks a path that you can take, and the first boss, Cleric Beast, allows you to buy an item that allows you to open a gate to get to that same place to proceed through the game. So you have to kill one of the two, but this is a walkthrough, so we're going to kill both of them. Let's equip our torch so we can see. See, you have an enemy right there who doesn't like us. And we have an enemy here who also doesn't like us. So we'll dispose of them both quickly and swiftly. Some more cold blood dew. Good stuff. Alright, there's another guy right here. And we'll take care of him. So here we've got two wolf beasts just lingering along. Not a good idea to engage them both at the same time and fight them, and it is very hard to pull them one-on-one away from each other because they both like to stick together. There is a very cheesy way to go about fighting them. Actually, we did get this guy's attention without the other one. That doesn't usually happen. But the way that I like to fight them is it is actually very easy to get both of their attention and then run all the way back to this door. You'll notice he's having a little bit of trouble getting through that door. He's not going to get through. So let's transform our weapon, get some range, and let's do a charge attack. Oh, they both did come. Okay, good. Now, it is possible for them to still hit you, but if they hit you once, they're not going to kill you, and you can easily heal and re-engage. This is the easiest way to kill them both at this point in the game, because they are fairly strong enemies. They'll do a lot of damage. They're very deadly, 2 at a time, and you don't want to be caught off guard. So let's do a charge attack. Oh, we actually did a jump attack there, but those work well also. Let's do a charge attack. You can also combo your charge attack. So I did a charge attack there, and then immediately after I hit R2 and did a combo. So those are very powerful in this circumstance especially. So we got one of them down. Let's get the other one. You generally want to wait until after they do their attack before you attack, because if you don't time it correctly, they're going to connect. And it's okay if they do. You're not going to die immediately, but you also don't want to take unnecessary damage. There we go. We got 3 blood vials from both of their corpses. Not bad. Okay. So, let's do some exploring. This is the way to the boss. But let's make sure that we get all the stuff that we need before we actually engage him. So you remember we came up the stairs, we ran around here, there was an item right there at that dead end. You can drop down and go back around to that shortcut, but we already have been there, so no need for us to do that again. On the other side, of course, is this house that we just came out of. So let's go back down this way, see what's over here. I hear somebody. I think we passed it. There it is. Alright, so there's going to be some enemies down here. And of course, you know the drill. Caution is your friend. There's a dog right there. He just noticed us. So pull away from his attack, then move in and kill him. Want to be careful around those dogs. They do pack a punch. I think this one might notice us too, depending on the patrol they go. Oh, they're going... Alright, let's see if we can get a pebble. Oh, we missed. There we go. We should get him now. Alright. Oh, he's got a gun, so he's just going to attack us from afar. See if his buddies come over. There he goes. There's one of his buddies. Let's get him by himself. And then the dog. The dog's going to come over here too. Or maybe we're going to fight Axeman first. Oh! The dog went behind us. So just kind of be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of where everyone's at. Make sure you don't get yourself killed. So he's going to try to get us from afar with range. Let's not let that happen. There's another dog back here, so be careful with that. Dodge the attack. Move in for the kill. Got some blood vials over here, 6 of them. That's a nice little stash. And over here, I think we're going to get some quicksilver bullets from this guy. Oh, and there's a troll. That was the guy that was banging on the gate before. Ah, there we go. Got that parry. And let's run in for the kill. There we go. This one dropped our blood vials. So, if this area looks familiar, it should, because this is the area where we fought that troll over there. That was the first one we fought, was by that gate where we got our torch. And so that's how this level kind of connects and intertwines. It's pretty neat to see how it plays out. And if we go back this way, remember that item we saw behind the gate in the last video that we couldn't obtain? Well, there it is. It's a cold blood dew tier 1. Okay, so now here is a gate that, of course, you guessed it, does not open. That is an NPC that we want to talk to, and we're going to get around to her probably in the next video. She is one of the more important NPCs in this first area of the game that we're going to interact with, and you will see why. Alright, so we've taken care of everything down here. We've kind of made ends meet with the level. We've kind of come full circle. So now the next thing we're going to do is take this path over here. And this is optional. It's basically a dead end, ultimately, but it's got some stuff that we want. So we're going to go ahead and take it. And there's that flaming beast bonfire. You remember we fought a big horde of enemies there earlier in the last video, so kind of get a nice little bird's eye view of what we just went through. So if you take this way, you can roll through these, get the item. You can also use your weapon. And this path is kind of hard to find and a little bit hidden behind here, but it is a path. So let's drop down here. Let's drop down here. Let's drop down here. And so you'll notice that this looks similar like a human. I would say it's a human that is further along the transformation path to beast. So it is definitely a more beastly looking human. These enemies are strong as well. Best way to beat them, you guessed it, parry and visceral attacks. Let's do it. And I will admit, on some of these parries, my timing is slightly off. You can parry them without taking the hit. For whatever reason, I'm just a little bit ever so slightly late on some of my parries, which is why I'm taking that damage up front. But still getting the parry, still getting the visceral attack, and pretty much getting my health back anyways with that rally mechanic. So let's see if we can get this guy without taking the hit. No, we can't, but we'll get our health back. I don't know why my timing is just slightly late, but not so late that I'm missing my opportunities here. There we go. We got that one without taking the hit. Perfect. Beautiful. Oh, he's still alive. He had a slightly more HP than the other ones, but no matter to us. So down here, you're going to see we have some rats. The rats are large. They're not too much of a problem. You know, you kind of approach them the same way you approach everything else, very carefully, and you'll be okay. So over here, you'll see there's an item here on the rafters. So if you are very careful and walk off at just the right spot, you can drop down on this rafter and walk over and pick up the item. And now we have Thick Cold Blood Tier 5. A tier 5 cold blood at this point in the game is very good. We can drop down and hit this rat, by the way. Kill him before he even gets to us. Tier 5 cold blood is going to give us a lot of blood echoes. I'm not going to use it right away. Again, I kind of use it as a buffer between levels, or if I need a few extra blood echoes to pick up an item that I want to buy or something like that. So I'm not going to use it right away. Around this corner, be careful. There's another beast with the rod. You know the drill. Oh, he's still got quite a bit of HP left, so we're probably going to do a second visceral on him. Ooh, see those attacks. My gosh, those hit hard. Alright. We didn't get him quick enough to get our full rally damage back, but we did get some of it back. So blood vials from him. Let's go ahead and use one. And here we have the Hunter armor set. So this is the first set of armor that we picked up. You may have noticed if you were thorough in the Hunter's Dream that if you went to the item shop in the Hunter's Dream that you can actually purchase this armor set. But there's a good reason why we didn't purchase it, because we can find it for free. And so here's your attire row and your inventory. So this is your headgear, this is your garb, these are your arms or your gloves, and then these are your trousers or your pants. So let's equip our hunter's hat. You'll notice that our stats here, our defense is more than double our starting gear. Our base physical defense is more than double. So these symbols from left to right, we got physical defense versus blunt versus thrust versus blood. Blood is essentially a synonym for blood bullets. There's other attacks that qualify as blood as well. Certain weapons are blood, but most of the part it's blood bullets. And then the star is arcane, and then finally we have fire resistance and bolt resistance. At the bottom of that middle section, you'll see that there's slow poison, rapid poison, frenzy, and beasthood. Slow poison is kind of what it says. You get poisoned, your HP is going to decrease slowly if we get poisoned. Rapid poison, your HP decreases rapidly if you get hit by rapid poison status. Frenzy is something else, and we'll get into that later once frenzy becomes a thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and equip this armor set. It is vastly superior to what we have before. This is almost double the defense of our garb. This is almost double our gloves. I mean, it's a no-brainer to put this set on. I mean, you can see we look a lot different now than we did before. We're wearing official Yharnam gear here. We're not wearing that foreigner stuff anymore that people didn't like. I mean, they're still not going to like us, but at least we kind of look the part, and we're actually much stronger for it. So that's why we wanted to come down here before fighting the Cleric Beast, because now we've got some beefed up armor, which is going to help us in the fight. So, you know, be careful with the rats. They can hit you. They're not going to kill you in one hit, but their attacks can be nasty. Whoops. And let's rally our damage back. You know, notice that after I killed him, I still swung my saw cleaver a couple times, and it still gave me some rally damage back. So even if after you kill an enemy, shortly thereafter you can still keep swinging your weapon, and you might get some of that damage back. Eventually it will stop, but it does last slightly beyond the point when the enemy you killed actually dies or takes his kill shot. Alright. Making quick work of these rats. None of them are dropping anything. These rats will sometimes drop throwing knives, which is a good projectile weapon that you can use. Alright, got him. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to swipe. I'm whiffing hardcore. I thought I was closer than I was, but that's okay. Alright, this one drops some throwing knives. So yeah, like anything else, we can equip these as an item. And just as they would imply, they're knives that you throw. I do not believe there's anything back here at the end of this hall. But we did get our armor, so we got what we came here for. So let's get out of here. Let's go fight the Cleric Beast. Just gonna have a little look around here and make sure that we didn't miss anything before we head on our way. I do not believe we did. We got the item on the rafters. I think we're squared away here. Okay, let's see, make sure there's nothing behind these. Sometimes little items are hidden behind these destructible objects. You never know. Just a good practice to investigate. Alright, so we're going to climb up this ladder, and we're going to find our way back to where we just were. Climb up this ladder, and voila! we're back. With our new swag. Alright, so we've made our way through a good chunk of this level here. Let's proceed forward to the end of the bridge, and that ahead of us is Old Yharnam, or rather the Cathedral Ward, and you'll see that clock tower there. That is Old Yharnam, that clock tower. So we'll be making our way there probably in the next couple videos or so. So you'll see this is a troll surrounded by crows. Let's fight the troll first, or the ogre, whatever he is. Let's get his attention. Same old, same old. I don't know why I'm messing that up. There we go. You can parry that dash attack. I've just been a little bit off tonight for some reason. It's getting late. I'll blame it on that. Alright, crows. Back up when they do their little flurry. Make sure you don't want to get hit by that. It's not going to kill you, but it's not fun either. Alright, so we're going to proceed through this archway, and we're going to face the Cleric Beast. The Cleric Beast is a large enemy. He can look intimidating. He is difficult. He's going to be the most difficult enemy that we've faced thus far. Of course, he is. He's the boss. However, I mentioned that some bosses we're not going to lock onto, and the reason for that is because when you lock onto him, you kind of tend towards his midsection area. It is better off if you attack his legs, and you can't really attack his legs, or it's not easy to attack his legs if you're locked on. I'm going to try to kind of wander around and show you guys his move set, what to expect, how to counteract his moves, how to punish certain attacks and things like that, and I'll do my best to explain it along the way while still fighting at the same time and hopefully beating him. All that being said, it's a good idea to have your Molotov cocktails equipped. Those are pretty effective against the Cleric Beast if you can hit him. Now, if you're going to hit him with Molotov cocktails, make sure you lock on to at least throw the Molotov cocktails, and then you can break your lock to go in and hit it with their saw cleaver. So, that being said, I think we're at the point now where let's just go on and do this. Let's get the Cleric Beast. He's going to come from right up there. There he is, the Cleric Beast. And you'll notice we just got one insight. Every time you enter a boss room and the boss appears, you get insight. Every time you beat a boss, you get insight. So now we have an insight, and that's going to be one of the important mechanics of this game as well. And I'll explain it in more detail once it becomes a factor to us. So you'll see he's got some... he attacked with his arms a lot. What I'm doing is I'm using those invincibility frames to roll through his attack. The best way to fight him and attack him is to roll through his attack, get behind him, and attack. Attack from behind as best as you can. So you see he does a little punch attack. He can punish you if you're right in front of him, but if you're behind him, it's harder for him to hit you. So it's best if you try to get behind him. If he jumps, make sure you roll away from the direction that he jumps, and he's probably not going to hit you. So there's his punch attack, so let's go for the legs. We have our saw cleaver. Our saw cleaver is very good. You see that he's staggered because we hit his leg so many times. Our saw cleaver, that's why we like this item, or this weapon, is because it's very good at pulling off the stagger against these beast enemies. Let's pelt him with a Molotov. That does 159 damage. That's pretty dang good. Molotovs, sometimes he'll dodge them, but Molotovs are a good option when fighting him. You'll do some good damage from a safe distance. You'll see, oh, he just hit us right there. You'll see sometimes he'll open up his arms like he's going to give you a hug. When he does that, get away, because that's his grab attack. If he grabs you, he's going to do a pretty good bit of damage on you. So let's just go on. I think I've done enough explaining. We're just going to go on and fight him like normal and get the kill. Let's do this. Basically, we got that stagger. We have a serrated weapon. Serrated weapons are good against beasts. All right, let's get a Molotov off. There we go. Almost got him at about half health. We're going to roll away from his jump. And that arm of his left arm is kind of a weak point. So if you can manage to get some hits on that, it's going to be a good thing for you. All right, he's going to do his swipe. Another swipe. Let's roll. Oh, that one hit us. I was going to try to roll through that one and get behind him, but didn't quite pull it off. All right. So he's kind of charging up for something. Hit us. Let's heal up. And let's throw another Molotov at him just for good measure. There we go. He doesn't like those. And it is also possible to parry him. Let's see. Let's try shooting him with our gun. There we go. When he bends over and you shoot him in the head, you can do a visceral on him. So it's good to have a few Quicksilver bullets going into this fight as well. Just another tool in your arsenal. Whoops, we're almost dead. Let's heal up. All right, how about another Molotov? Nope, he dodged it. That's okay. All right, not doing so well in the Molotov. So let's get behind him. Attack him from behind. Get a lot of hits in. See, we got the stagger. Getting more hits in. All right, so I think if we can get behind him one more time, that's going to be it. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to run. Let's get right behind him. Get some hits in, and he's dead. All right. That is the Cleric Beast. Prey slaughtered. You'll see as our reward, we get the Sword Hunter badge. And a lot of blood echoes. We're up to 10,000 blood echoes now. And we have 4 insight. You'll notice we got 1 insight when we walked in to face the boss, and we got 3 when we killed him. So you might be wondering what insight is, and that is a very good question. We'll explain that in just a minute. And also here we have the lamp. So this is actually a dead end. As I mentioned, the Cleric Beast is an optional boss. He doesn't immediately open a new area to us. This door is locked. This gate is shut, not going to open. So yeah. One thing I didn't really mention when we were fighting the Cleric Beast is, man, this game has an incredible soundtrack. It might be one of my favorite game soundtracks of all time, up there with the best of the best, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of music in general, and man, the boss music in this game is just top notch for sure. I've downloaded the soundtrack. I listen to it at work all the time. It helps me through some of the long days. All right, so here we are back in the Hunter's Dream. So we have a new item right here that we didn't have before, and this is the Beckoning Bell and the Silencing Blank. So the Beckoning Bell is an item that is going to be used if you're playing online with multiplayer. This is the item that allows you to summon help from another human player, actually. So you can use the Beckoning Bell. Where is the Beckoning Bell? Is it here? There we go. A great old bell discovered in the underground labyrinth. Its ring resonates across worlds, and the first hunter used it as a special signal to call hunters from other worlds to cross the gap and cooperate. A human must use insight to ring this uncanny bell, but the benefits of cross-world cooperation are many. So now that we have insight, we can use the Beckoning Bell. If you're playing online, you can use this Beckoning Bell, and another player can answer the call, and you can co-op the game together. The Silencing Blank, basically, I believe it sends, if you summon help and you want to send them back at any time, you can use the Silencing Blank and it sends them back to their own world. So the way that works is, I'll expand on that just 1 second here. So if you go to Network, you can switch your region if you want to match locally or worldwide. That's just a geographic location matching. If you're summoning someone for co-op, this just is the name that you display. If you want your online ID, your PlayStation Network ID, or if you want your just the name of your character that you created. You can also use a password, and that's if, let's say, if you're playing with a friend and you want one specific person to match up with you, you can create a password and then give your friend that password, and that'll ensure that the person that you're matched up with for co-op is the person that you want, your friend or whoever. So up here is the old Hunter Bell. And I believe this is an item that you only get if you either have downloaded the DLC or if you have the complete Old Hunters version of the game. The Old Hunters Bell, the Old Hunters is the name of the DLC, and so I think there's certain points where you can summon a friendly NPC and co-op. So there's 2 versions of co-op. There's one where you co-op with a human player, and then there's also a way you can co-op with NPCs. There are certain points in the game where you can, there's a glowing spot where you can stand and summon an NPC, and they'll actually help you with a boss fight or something like that. So the Old Hunter Bell allows you to summon some of those Old Hunter characters. I believe you can only use it if you, or only obtain it if you have the DLC or the Old Hunters version of the game, the complete version of the game. So that's it for the new weapons. I do not believe we have enough upgrade mats for another tier. You'll see old Gehrman just mysteriously disappeared on us. So there's nothing really for us to do in here. So Insight. allows us to purchase items from the Insight shop. So Insight functions as, you can call it, an alternative form of currency in this game. There are certain items that are only available through the Insight shop, and you can only purchase by using your Insight. Insight does function as a currency, but also has another purpose in this game, in that, you know, your Insight can build up to a certain level, and if it gets to that level, some things can change in the environment, and you know, we'll get to that a little bit later as well. But for now, you can use it to purchase things. You can purchase at this point pungent blood cocktails, or the small resonant bell. So the small resonant bell is basically the corresponding item to the beckoning bell. So this is the bell that you would ring if you want to help a hunter in another world and do multiplayer co-op. So if you want to do that, if you want to help other people who are trying to summon you with your beckoning bell, you need this item. You can buy that with 1 insight. And then this is a sinister resonant bell. This is the PvP item. So you can, just like you can ring the bell and summon somebody, or ring the bell and help somebody who's summoning a friendly co-opper, you can also ring the sinister resonant bell, and this will warp you to someone else's world as an enemy, and then that will allow you to engage in PvP, and there are certain rewards associated with that. Again, since we're playing this walkthrough offline, we're not going to be using these items, but we're going to pick them up anyways, just because, you know, if you want to test them out and mess around online, it's just a good thing to go ahead and pick those up from the Insight shop. So let's go down here to our messengers, our friendly messengers, and you'll notice when we beat the Cleric Beast, we got something called the Sword Hunter badge. Let's see what that's about. One of the badges crafted by the Healing Church, the silver sword is a symbol of a church hunter. Ludwig was the first of many Healing Church hunters to come, many of whom were clerics. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beasts. So that's a little tidbit of the game's lore, so that you can assume, based on that description, that the Cleric Beast that we just fought was a high-ranking member of the Healing Church, because the higher you are in the church, the more influence you had over the church, the more grotesque of a beast that you would transform into. So he was probably pretty high up in the Healing Church. What these badges do is it increases the amount of items and weapons, etc., that you can purchase at our item shop over here with our blood echoes. So as we progress through the game, we're going to get more of these badges. The more badges that we get, the number of items for sale is going to increase. So now we can buy antidotes, we can buy bold hunter's marks, which I mentioned earlier are the items that you can consume to warp back to the most recent checkpoint or lantern without sacrificing your blood echoes. Here we have the hand lantern, which essentially it functions as a sort of mini torch that you can equip, but you can equip it without sacrificing your left-handed weapon. So we can have this equipped and still be using our gun. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up as well. That's a good thing just to have. I almost always have it equipped. Here we could purchase the Hunter Chief emblem for 10,000 blood echoes. Of course, we don't have that much since we just bought the lantern. This is the item that we can buy as a result of killing the Cleric Beast and getting the Sword Hunter badge that allows us to unlock a gate into the Cathedral Ward, which we're not there yet, but if we bought this weapon, we could unlock that gate. We're not going to buy this because we're also going to beat the Blood-Starved Beast, which allows us to access an area that provides a way around without us having to buy this weapon and waste blood echoes. The Sword Hunter badge also allows us access to purchase the Kirk Hammer. This is actually a really good weapon for early on in the game. I do like to pick it up. I use it from now and then. It does some pretty serious damage, especially with the charge attack when it's transformed. I'll demonstrate that in a second. So over here, we have Insight. We fought the Cleric Beast. We beat the Cleric Beast. We have Insight. So now we have access to the doll. She has woken up and we can talk to her.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you, to embolden your sickly spirit.
Alright, so here we can channel our blood echoes and level up.
Very well. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Okay, so we have 5,000 blood echoes left. That can get us a few levels at least. Let's take our vitality up, get some extra health out of the deal. Let's take our endurance up so we can maybe chain some more attacks together. Let's take our let's take our strength up. Get some extra attack power out of the deal as well. So you'll notice our next level requires 1445 blood echoes. After doing this level up, we have 1066 remaining, and this is going to take us from level 10 to level 14. You'll notice with each level that we spend as well, our physical defense, low poison resistance, and rapid poison resistance is increasing as well. Alright, we're level 14. So we're 400 blood echoes away from another level. So now would be a good opportunity to use some of those cold blood dew items that we have. I think if I use 2 of them, I should be able to get another level. Yep.
Welcome.
So let's get another level. Let's pull our stamina up one more. Let's get to level 12 stamina. And that'll be it for now. So,
Farewell, good hunter.
we also picked up the Kirk Hammer. Let's go ahead and equip oh, we cannot equip that because it requires 16 strength. Okay, so next time we have the opportunity to level up, we'll level up our strength so we can equip the Kirk Hammer, and I can showcase its moveset, which is pretty good for this point in the game. It does some pretty nice damage. We also picked up the Hand Lantern, which we want to equip. So, another way that you can equip items, other than this quick access toolbar down here at the bottom, is if you press the right-hand side of that long center button in the middle of the PS4 controller, it pulls up your personal effects list. This is essentially another hotbar that you can use to equip items with. So if you select a slot and press triangle, we can equip our Hand Lantern. And it's another way you can access weapons. You're not going to be able to cycle through to them and hit square. If you press that center button and then just press X, you'll use it. It's another way to access your items quickly. It's not as quick, but it's a good kind of secondary menu to access. And so I like to put my Hand Lantern there because I'm never going to use my Hand Lantern in the heat of battle, so I don't ever want to really scroll to it. But I like having it handy just in case I can put it on real quick. And generally, once you equip it, it stays on. You can see it's right there on my side, and it will provide some light to darker areas and also probably help you see better on the video as well. So that being said, we've actually gone a little bit long in this video. We've gone a little bit longer than our hour. So let's go ahead and call it quits there. Thank you so much for watching this walkthrough. I hope you're really enjoying yourself and you're finding it helpful. I hope that you're working your way swiftly and quickly through Central Yharnam and that you've managed to kill the Cleric Beast. If you like what you see, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Join the squad. I'm very grateful for your support, and I will see you in the next video.